father said, "Uh-oh, there's going to be trouble." And I said, "Well, how come, you know?" He said, "Well, Japan just bombed Pearl Harbor." And he says, "We're at war with Japan."
What we're trying to do is for you to make a connection, a visual connection with the interview to try to deepen your understanding of that interview. And then you're going to pick a color that comes to mind from that interview. What's really important is that you document why you chose that color and how that color in your mind connects to that interview or that story. Then you're going to pick a symbol and to explain why that symbol. And then the third thing is to pick an image. Now, an image is different than a symbol in that it's like the thing itself. So it's like a photo or a drawing of something. Okay, so look around the room, find somebody else to pair up with, bring your sheet with you.
One of the teachers said, "You people bombed Pearl Harbor," and I'm going, "My people?" You know, all of a sudden, my Japanese-ness became very aware to me.
Alright, so I chose to do Akiko Kuroshi, and the color I chose was gray because I felt like she was kind of really confused, you know, and so gray is made up of black and white, essentially. And so I think that she felt kind of trapped and confused between what she knew about herself and then what others perceived about her after the bombing. So I thought gray was like a fitting color. Also, I think she felt like shunned. And the question mark is also like X'd out because there wasn't really any way to get clarification of why this was happening, you know? Yeah, and she didn't really understand why she had to respond to things like her ancestry or like people from her ancestry had done, you know, like because she was a United States citizen, you know. And then for my image, I kind of had a pyramid scheme. And so like the top person is kind of like people empowering the United States. And once like Pearl Harbor was bombed, because that was like the event that kind of triggered everything, like the United States was paralyzed into fear, and so their like-minded fear led people in power to kind of, you know, do all these different things that impacted a lot of people, and they didn't really think it out.
And Chaplain Yamada said, "This is the first time I saw the colonel cry."
I did Rudy Tokiwa, and my color was deep blue, and I did blue because it was the aftermath and it showed like how he was sad and how like the 442nd Division was sad that about all the people that died, how few had came out without like unscathed and all. So my symbol were like teardrops, and I used this because the colonel was crying as the troops were passing Fortson, I think, and he explained, "This is all we have left." Sad moment.
Yeah.
For my image, I put like hands holding each other, and I did that because I thought it showed how every soldier in the 442nd Division all like stood hand in hand, knew how each other felt, and were fighting for the same thing.
It just needed the question to be raised. I knew I couldn't answer it, you know, without saying I can't do it.
So I chose red because it reminds me of a stop sign in Mr. Hirabayashi. Put a stop to following the rules that were enforced for Japanese Americans at the time. So I chose an X because it represents stopping and taking a stand for unfair racial standards at the time. I chose a picture of all the people behind the fence in the internment camp and then Gordon outside, and he's bigger than everyone else because it shows that all the people in the camp were looking up to him and admired his bravery for defying the rules at the time because he was one of like very few to do it.
Anybody? Was anything striking? Was it hard for you? Was it easy for you? Was it?
kind of challenging to associate a color with such a big thing, I guess. Like, it was such a big event that's hard to sum it up in a color.
Yeah. Matthew?
Well, I thought that the color aspect was actually really interesting because it's so abstract that, like, it really makes you think about what you actually think about the subject so that you can explain why you chose the color.
Personal stories bring an insightful view of history, something that's often overlooked in textbooks. By using imaginative and metaphorical thinking, students can connect a color, a symbol, and an image to a personal story. A bank of possible selections can help to generate their thinking. In this activity, it's important that students explain their thinking. How does the color, symbol, and image they selected relate to the story? Dinshow's online archive has nearly 1,000 oral history interviews. Take a listen to other personal stories at www.dinshow.org.